Ibn al-Qayyim once narrated a moment he witnessed during his imprisonment with Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. He said that on a night when everyone felt broken, exhausted, and stripped of all worldly comfort, his teacher looked around the dark prison cell and said, "If the kings and their sons knew the peace we live in at this moment, they would fight us for it." Ibn al-Qayyim wrote that it was in that prison, in the middle of fear and uncertainty, that he first understood a secret of Allah's divine preparation. Sometimes the blessing is being shaped long before it arrives, shaped in darkness, shaped in hardship, shaped in silence. And the heart that stays patient through that shaping is the heart Allah chooses for a life-changing gift. Before every major blessing, before every opening, before every breakthrough, Allah places a believer in circumstances that are meant to transform them. Ibn al-Qayyim teaches that Allah does not give a great blessing to a heart that has not been softened, purified, or humbled. He explains that Allah prepares the servant before He elevates him, just as the ground is softened before rain, and the soul is emptied before it is filled. He wrote about nights when he watched Ibn Taymiyyah stand in worship despite the chains on his feet, and he realized something profound. Allah prepares His chosen servants through trials that polish their hearts until they can hold the blessing without breaking under it. And this is how Allah prepares you too. In this video, you will discover 7 signs drawn from the wisdom of Ibn al-Qayyim that Allah may be preparing you for a blessing that could change your life forever. But before we begin, breathe and open your heart, because what you are about to hear may explain everything you are going through right now. Ibn al-Qayyim teaches that one of the first signs Allah is preparing you for a great blessing is when He gently detaches your heart from this world before your life changes externally. He says in Madarij al-Sālikīn that Allah sometimes closes the doors you were depending on, not to harm you, but to free your heart from distractions so it can receive something better. And he narrates a moment from his own life that revealed this truth to him. Ibn al-Qayyim once wrote about how he saw Ibn Taymiyyah in a situation where worldly opportunities were slipping away from him one by one. People were turning against him, doors of influence were shutting, and even close companions feared being associated with him. To any normal person, it looked like a disaster. But he describes what shocked him most. The more the world withdrew from him, the more his heart expanded with peace. He said he witnessed his teacher feel no sadness over what he lost and no bitterness toward those who opposed him. Instead, Ibn Taymiyyah was relieved, as if Allah was cleaning his heart from attachments that once held him back. And Ibn al-Qayyim realized, sometimes Allah removes the dunya from you just before He gives you something bigger than the dunya can hold. If lately you feel disconnected from things you used to love, if the job you relied on is suddenly unstable, if people you trusted are drifting away, if your heart feels uninterested in what used to distract you, that may not be a loss. It may be Allah emptying your hands so He can place something new inside them. And Ibn al-Qayyim says, when Allah wants to give you a blessing, He first removes what would have competed with it. Hold on to that truth, because the detachment you're feeling right now may be the beginning of your elevation. Ibn al-Qayyim teaches that when Allah is preparing a servant for a life-changing blessing, the trials that come next are never random. They are designed precisely, intentionally, to purify the exact weakness that would prevent you from carrying the blessing properly. He says in Madarij al-Sālikīn that Allah trains the believer the way a skilled physician treats the patient, targeting the illness that must be removed for life to return to the body. And Ibn al-Qayyim witnessed this with his own eyes. He narrates that he once saw Ibn Taymiyyah placed under a hardship that specifically attacked what most people fear losing, their reputation. People slandered him, accused him, misrepresented his words, and the noise around him grew to the point that even allies hesitated. Ibn al-Qayyim writes that this trial seemed almost crafted to purify a single human weakness, the desire to be praised and accepted by people. He said, Allah stripped him of every voice except his own. And Ibn al-Qayyim realized something profound. The trial wasn't there to break Ibn Taymiyyah. It was there to remove the last veil between him and Allah, until his heart depended on nothing except the one who created it. And this is how Allah prepares you too. Think about what you're facing right now. Are your fears being tested? Are you being pushed out of your comfort zone? A weakness you've always had is suddenly coming to the surface. Are you being forced to confront something you avoided for years? This is not an accident. It's a custom-made purification, a painful surgery for the soul, designed to heal the exact part of you that would collapse under the weight of the blessing that's coming. Because Allah doesn't give a big blessing to a heart that has cracks. He fixes the cracks first. But here is the part Ibn al-Qayyim hints at and most people never understand. The moment the test becomes the most painful might be the moment you are closest to your breakthrough. And next, you'll see the sign that appears right before everything in your life shifts, a sign so subtle that most people miss it completely. Ibn al-Qayyim teaches that one of the clearest signs Allah is preparing you for a powerful blessing is this: your heart becomes calm at a time when it logically shouldn't. Not because the problem is gone, not because things are easy, but because Allah has begun to strengthen you from the inside before He changes anything on the outside. In al-Wābil al-Ṣayyib, Ibn al-Qayyim describes a moment he witnessed during a period of severe hardship. He writes that people around him were overwhelmed, anxious, racing between solutions, drowning in fear. But then he noticed Ibn Taymiyyah sitting with such serenity that it felt unreal. He said, in the heart of hardship, his face would brighten as though joy had descended upon him. And Ibn al-Qayyim observed something deeper. This peace wasn't coming after relief. It came before it. It was a peace that signaled something. Allah had already written an opening. The heart could feel it even before the eyes could see it. And this is where your life mirrors their story. Have you recently felt a strange, unexplainable calm? A sense that things will work out even if you're still surrounded by problems. A sudden ability to let go of what was worrying you. A quiet voice inside your soul telling you to trust Allah. A moment where your heart feels lighter without any logical reason. Ibn al-Qayyim says this is sakina, a tranquility sent only to hearts that are being prepared for a divine gift. It is the peace that Allah places before the blessing so you don't break during the final stretch. Because here is a secret He emphasizes. Sakina comes to the heart right before a major shift. Before the door opens, before the storm ends, before the blessing descends, Allah gives you a taste of the peace that the blessing will complete. This is not ordinary calm. It is a signal, a sign that the next chapter of your life is already moving towards you, quietly, invisibly,
perfectly timed. And Ibn al-Qayyim reveals something even more astonishing, a sign that every chosen servant experiences just before Allah lifts them to a higher level. Ibn al-Qayyim teaches that when Allah is preparing a servant for a life-changing blessing, He starts moving the world around them to create the perfect conditions. He calls it Tabdir Allah, the divine arrangement of circumstances, people, and events. He narrates in Madarij al-Sālikīn that sometimes blessings arrive not because of sudden luck, but because Allah has been quietly setting the stage, unseen by the eye, unnoticed by the heart. Ibn al-Qayyim shares a story from his own life with Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah. During one period of imprisonment and extreme difficulty, it seemed like nothing could go.
Ibn al-Qayyim shares a story from his own life with Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah. During one period of imprisonment and extreme difficulty, it seemed like nothing could go right. But he noticed that the right words reached the right people at the right time. Letters of support came from unexpected sources. Small opportunities began appearing in the strangest ways. He writes, "I realized that Allah was arranging everything quietly. Every obstacle removed, every hand extended, every word spoken, all in preparation for what was coming." And Ibn al-Qayyim explains the lesson. When you are being prepared for a major blessing, you may feel powerless, yet the world around you begins to fold into place perfectly, even before you are aware of it. Look at your own life. Doors you thought were closed are starting to creak open. People you had given up on are suddenly reaching out. Small events happen that seem coincidental, but feel too precise to be random. This is Allah's way of saying, "I am arranging it. Trust me." But here's the part most people don't notice. These alignments often start with tiny, almost invisible shifts. A whisper of guidance, a fleeting opportunity, or a chance encounter. And Ibn al-Qayyim warns, many abandon patience too early, missing the blessing because they cannot see what is already moving in their favor. So watch closely. Notice the small hints, the subtle openings, the doors that are slowly aligning. Because next, we will explore the most delicate and powerful sign of all, the one that touches your heart directly, even before anything changes externally. And it will make you realize your life is on the brink of something extraordinary. Ibn al-Qayyim teaches that one of the most profound signs Allah is preparing a servant for a life-changing blessing is when the heart itself begins to change before the situation changes. He explains in Madarij al-Sālikīn that the heart is a subtle compass. When Allah is about to grant a great favor, He first draws the soul toward what is pleasing to Him, even in small, almost imperceptible ways. Ibn al-Qayyim narrates a personal story. During his years of companionship with Ibn Taymiyyah, he noticed a remarkable pattern in their students. He writes, "Some of us were drawn to acts of worship, patience, and remembrance we had never cared for before. Even a glance at the Quran brought tears we could not explain. It was not the teaching itself that caused the change. It was the subtle pull of the heart, a divine magnet, drawing them toward the path Allah had prepared for them." Ibn al-Qayyim realized, before Allah opens the doors of worldly or spiritual blessings, He first opens the door of the heart. And this is what you may be feeling right now. A sudden interest in things you once ignored. A desire to pray, read, or remember Allah without force. Compassion and patience you could never summon before. A subtle hope, even in hopeless circumstances. This pull is not ordinary motivation. It is a preparation of the heart, an inner signal that you are ready to receive what Allah has in store.
But here comes the cliffhanger that Ibn al-Qayyim warns about. Beware, for the heart is being prepared quietly. Many feel the pull and turn back, distracted by the world, missing the blessing that is so close it could touch them. Ibn al-Qayyim teaches that when Allah is preparing a servant for a life-changing blessing, He tests patience in a precise, almost invisible manner. He calls it tahdhib as-sabr, refining patience so the heart can carry the gift without breaking. In al-Wābil al-Ṣayyib, Ibn al-Qayyim narrates a story from his own life. During a period of intense scrutiny and imprisonment alongside Ibn Taymiyyah, small inconveniences became constant companions. Food was scarce, the nights were cold, messages were delayed, and misunderstandings arose even among loyal friends. He noticed something remarkable. The more the small tests pressed on us, the more our hearts learned not to be shaken by them. Each moment of discomfort polished the soul like a stone under a river's current. Ibn al-Qayyim explains that these subtle tests often target the very thing you rely on most: your comfort, your pride, your time, your sense of control. And the lesson is clear. Allah does not prepare hearts for great blessings without first testing their patience. The world may still seem chaotic, but each trial is measured and intentional, like a blacksmith carefully hammering iron into shape. Think about your own life. Are minor annoyances suddenly feeling bigger than usual? Do minor setbacks shake you more than they should? Do you feel stretched, waiting for something that seems just out of reach?
These are not punishments. They are the refining fires of Allah, making your heart ready to receive the blessing without being overwhelmed. And Ibn al-Qayyim warns something crucial. The one who abandons patience in the smallest trial may lose what Allah had been preparing in secret. We will explore the most subtle but powerful sign of all now, a moment so quiet, yet so profound, that it signals your blessing is almost at your doorstep. It's a sign most people overlook, and if you miss it, the blessing may arrive unnoticed. Ibn al-Qayyim teaches that the final sign that Allah is preparing you for a life-changing blessing is when ease begins to enter your life suddenly, almost miraculously, even before the main blessing arrives. He narrates a personal observation from his time with Shaykh Ibn Taymiyyah in al-Wābil al-Ṣayyib. During one particularly harsh period, everything seemed bleak. Yet without warning, small windows of relief appeared. Messages of support came at exactly the right time. Obstacles that seemed insurmountable suddenly dissolved. Opportunities appeared from the most unexpected places. Ibn al-Qayyim wrote, "It was as if Allah, after patiently refining the heart, began to open the paths of provision, knowledge, and relief even before the full blessing had manifested." He explained that this sudden ease is a sign from Allah, a divine whisper to the soul. What I promised is near. Be patient, be thankful, and prepare your heart to receive it fully. And this is the part most people miss. The blessing often arrives in stages, not all at once. The small signs of relief are Allah's way of testing gratitude and readiness. Those who recognize and cherish these subtle mercies will hold the full blessing with ease. Ibn al-Qayyim emphasizes, do not despair when trials continue. Do not ignore the small openings that appear. Both are part of the preparation. If you notice ease entering your life suddenly, no matter how small, consider it a divine signal, a prelude to something far greater than you can imagine. And now, having seen all 7 signs, the final truth Ibn al-Qayyim leaves us with is how to position ourselves to fully receive Allah's life-changing blessings, which we will explore next. Ibn al-Qayyim teaches that recognizing the signs is only the first step. To fully receive the blessing Allah has prepared, you must align your heart, actions, and intentions with His wisdom. He writes in Madarij al-Sālikīn, The servant who sees the signs of Allah but does not prepare himself with patience, gratitude, and sincerity may delay or even miss the blessing entirely. Let's reflect on the 7 signs we have explored. 1. Detachment from the dunya. Allah is emptying your hands so He can place something greater. 2. Trials targeting your weaknesses, refining your heart to carry the blessing without breaking. 3. A calm heart amid chaos, a taste of the sakina that signals your readiness. 4. Divine alignment of people and circumstances, subtle guidance preparing the path. 5. Your heart drawn towards goodness, an inner pull that precedes external change. 6. Tests of patience, measured trials that polish and strengthen the soul. 7. Sudden ease amidst hardship, small openings and relief indicating the blessing is near. Ibn al-Qayyim emphasizes that these signs are not coincidences. They are Allah's personal preparation plan for your life-changing gift. Here's how you position yourself. Sincerely rely on Allah. Trust that every trial, delay, and detachment is intentional. Maintain gratitude. Celebrate the small openings and the ease that comes. Strengthen your heart. Engage in thicker prayer and reflection to remain spiritually ready. Be patient and consistent. The blessing will not arrive before the heart is prepared to receive it fully. Act when the opportunity comes. Recognize the alignment of people, circumstances, and doors. They are your cue to move. Ibn al-Qayyim narrates a lesson he learned from Ibn Taymiyyah during imprisonment. The blessing is never far from the one whose heart remains steady, whose soul remains open, and whose trust in Allah is unwavering. Sometimes the hardship is the prelude. Sometimes the silence is the teacher. But when the heart is ready, the blessing arrives, and it will be beyond what the eyes have seen and the heart has imagined. So, if you are facing trials, moments of detachment, or sudden calm in the midst of chaos, recognize them. These are divine whispers telling you, prepare yourself. Something greater than you can imagine is coming. Hold fast, remain patient, and keep your heart soft, because Allah's preparation is the guarantee of the greatness of the blessing.